Andrew wants to know, in your video on cable installation, I noticed that you don't grease the cables before you install them, but a lot of mechanics do. Is there a reason you don't do this? These days, nearly all housing comes pre-greased from the factory, so there's no need to add additional grease to the cable. Plus, this grease that comes in a lot of the housings, in my opinion, adds drag to the cable, and it also attracts a little bit of dirt. While the grease will keep the cable working longer than an ungreased housing, you still have the problem of that increased drag on a brand new cable. There is an exception to my preference for ungreased housing, and that is Shimano's SP41 housing, which seems to have less drag than the sticky translucent grease found in most other housings. For ungreased housing, I prefer to lubricate the housing with a light oil like Triflow, Boschil T9, or WD-40's new dry chain lube. But I only use a few drops per housing section to avoid attracting dirt. This yields a really light feel at the lever and faster upshifts. Use a Teflon-coated cable for an even lighter shift feel. In order to further reduce cable drag, I also avoid using sealed housing ferrules. Every time a seal is added that contacts the cable, you add more friction and drag to the system. With a double-sealed system where the ferrule is sealed and then a rubber boot is added as a secondary seal, on a typical rear derailleur housing run with 2 sections of housing, you end up with 6 seals that the cable has to pass through before it reaches the derailleur. This adds up to a lot of unnecessary drag. With unsealed ferrules, I even like to slightly ream them to produce even less drag on the cable. The result is a super quick shifting system and a really light lever feel. I also make it a habit to give the shifters a quick spritz of Boschil T9 into the guts of the shifter every time I change the cable. This is a good preventative maintenance practice that'll keep the shifter from freezing up later. It also helps produce a lighter shift feel that helps to offer a little more mechanical feedback with each shift. They'll help you feel when you've executed a proper shift. My only caveats with this system are that in wet and muddy climates, your cables are unprotected against water that can get into the cables and break them down. So it's more of a racer setup, but in my opinion it's worth it for the quicker shifts and the lighter feel of the lever. A good compromise is to use Shimano SP41 housing with unsealed ferrules so that you get the long-lasting benefits of a greased housing, but the reduced drag offered by unsealed ferrules. There are ways to make a fully sealed cable setup without using sealed ferrules, but to show you that, we'll take a whole nother video. If you want your question answered on Ask a Mechanic presented by Cyclery, send your inquiry to webletters@competitorgroup.com.